Welcome back to the channel. I'm Traben, and today we'll be doing the Curios tag. So unlike some of the other tags we've done on this channel, where I just kind of saw them on YouTube and decided to pick them up and do them myself, I was actually tagged for this particular challenge or this particular task by Randy over at the Literate Texan. I will be tagging Emily at the Astral Library, Noah from In Between the Lines, and Kat from Lit with Kat. We'll be passing this on, growing that bit of our community. These are some of the earliest people who interacted with me or those who inspired me to pick up doing BookTube. I know Emily has done a complete bookshelf tour, but I'd still be curious to see if there's any like trinkets or odds or ends that she could include in this tag. The Curios tag is pretty simple. You just talk about some of the little knickknacks or things on your bookshelves or on your desk. Now, if you've looked at the shelf behind me in any of my videos, you can see that we keep a lot of our figures here, a lot of different odds and ends kind of cluttering our bookshelves. But I wanted to talk specifically about two different types of curio, two different types of knickknack that we have. The ones that either have a direct relationship to something on our shelves, you know, some book, some comic, something like that, or ones that come from my time as a teacher. We'll start with these chess pieces that we've had for a very long time. These came out with a magazine, a series of magazines called Clamp no Kiseki, and it was celebrating Clamp's 15-year anniversary. So each month they would have a new, I think this was monthly, they'd have a new magazine that focused in on one of their properties. Clamp is an all-girl mangaka collective that's put out a number of instantly recognizable titles. So they had Clamp School Detectives, they had X, Tokyo Babylon, Holic, Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles, just a number of titles put out by that group. And especially in the late 90s, early 2000s, these were very popular titles. So we have some of them. If you collected all of the titles when it came out, I think the complete chess set is something like 32 pieces, and you could put a whole chessboard together. We have, I think, 5 or 6. So we do not have the full collection. They are now horribly expensive to find with the magazines. So that is one of our curios that ties directly to some of the comic books and things we're reading at the time. Another one from a comic book, this time an American comic book, is my White Violin figure. So this came with a re-release of the first trade paperback of The Umbrella Academy. I have since gotten rid of the copy that this came with. It was a hardcover edition, but it was also a smaller edition than the full-size one. And I've since bought the special edition, the larger special edition copies. So I no longer have the comic that this was packaged with, but I still have the figure. We have a little bat signal that lights up. And that came with this tiny pocket Batman kind of overview comic, just like the very basics of who Batman is and who his sidekicks are and his rogues gallery. Along with that, sticking with the Batman theme, we have this complete covers pocket edition, which just has all the covers starting with Detective Comics, right, and moving through the Golden and Silver Age. So there are several volumes of this, I believe, out. It's one of those things that you see up on the checkout stand in a Barnes & Noble, and so we picked that up as well. It's so tiny. Finally, we have some work from my students. Like any good teacher, I hold on to the art my kids draw for me and the projects that they put a lot of work into that they'll let me hold on to. So I've got two things here. The first is a series of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure characters as Pokemon cards, and this one was made for an assignment where they had to create trading cards for characters and talk about their attributes, both their physical attributes and their personality attributes. So the student who worked on that put a lot of time into thinking about how to exemplify the things the characters did in one show into another media. So I thought that was really cool. And they've got Pokemon sleeves to keep them in good shape because they are just printed off paper. But I've held on to these for a year now and do not plan on getting rid of them. Just think they're really neat. And then finally, I have some art from a student from several years ago. It's been a long time since I had this particular student. Let's see if we get the glare off a little bit there. And I've had this framed to hold on to. It sits above my desk. So both of these pieces were done by the same student. And I've held on to these for a number of years. I just really liked the art style, and also it was just something nice to remember that student by even all these years later. I didn't want to bog this video down with a bunch of looks at like pop figures and things like that. I wanted to keep it to the things that were a little bit weird, a little unique, maybe a little bit lesser seen, and talk about like where they came from and how they relate to some of the books on our shelves. So that'll do it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this shorter video, this look at something a little bit different today. And I look forward to seeing those who I tagged in the description to seeing what they come up with for their Curios tag in the future. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.